It's John from What Up, and welcome back to another video. And we're midway through Season 2 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show, and a lot has gone on so far. But there's been a couple of teasers, one at the end of Episode 4 for Episode 5, and also a scene from Episode 5 that was released today that I want to talk about this evening to give some clues as to where the rest of the season may be heading, including some pretty iconic scenes. One with a major twist, and one that is pretty much word for word from the books. Really cool stuff. So if you're new to the channel, you don't know what we do here. We cover Wheel of Time show news, pretty much anything and everything about the Wheel of Time. Right now I'm also doing reviews, breakdowns, and Easter egg videos for every single episode of the Wheel of Time. If you like that sort of thing, please make sure you subscribe to the channel because we do talk a lot about the Wheel of Time here. And when Season 2 is done, I'm going to have some tidbits for you folks about Season 3, and you're not going to want to miss that. Now, before I get into showing these two teasers and talking about them, I do have to give a bit of a spoiler warning since we're talking elements from both books and show. So, spoiler warning, if you have not seen the first season and the first 4 episodes of Season 2 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show streaming right now on Prime Video, and have not read the first 4 books of the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan, that's The Eye of the World, The Great Hunt, The Dragon Reborn, and The Shadow Rising, be forewarned, I may ruin plot points and character arcs from both of those mediums. Alright, let's get on to the very first teaser that really does focus on the White Cloaks, Aviendha, and Perrin.
And now Ishamael is loose, and he has released Lanfear.
And the rest of them?
If he releases them all, well, then we have no hope of winning the last battle.
With this, the whole world will be ours.
Last man who touched her cage had his arm broken and practically ripped off. Can't trust an Aiel.
Perrin and Aviendha, do you like to dance?
Alright, so that was the teaser that was shown at the end of Episode 4, showcasing what was to come in Episode 5. Now, there's 2 separate scenes in there that are important that I want to talk about that are new to us. The first one we'll talk about is Perrin and Aviendha, because the second scene with Liandrin and the 3 girls where they're in the ways, that leads directly into the second teaser we're going to show you in just a few moments. Yes, we have a second teaser in this video. It was released today, actually, that deals with the Seanchan. So that kind of adds together. We'll talk about Perrin and Aviendha first. So, what it seems they've done here is they've taken Aviendha and they've replaced a character by the name of Gaul, at least in these particular scenes. So in the book series, during The Dragon Reborn, Perrin comes upon a town called Raymond. Now, Raymond is basically hosting a few hunters for the Horn. They're injured, they're kind of wrapped up in bandages and whatnot. They talk about fighting a lion. And in the middle of the town, there's a cage, and in the cage is an Aiel, and that Aiel is Gaul. Now, Gaul is a stone dog, and he is the one that basically kicked the crap out of all the hunters. That's pretty much what happened. They captured him, they put him in a cage after he killed a fair number of them. During that scene, Perrin goes out in the middle of the night. He feels bad. He lets Gaul go. He gets him down out of the cage. White Cloaks show up. They fight White Cloaks together, kill a bunch of them, and then Gaul and Perrin sort of go on their separate ways. Now, the line that Aviendha says in the teaser, "Do you like to dance?" is exactly what Gaul said in the book series, and I think that's really very neat. So, why are we not getting Gaul in Season 2 and we're getting Aviendha instead? Well, I think there's a couple of reasons for that, and I don't think you folks should despair just yet. There's a lot of people out there who really love the character Gaul and the bromance he has with Perrin throughout the rest of the book series that are pretty upset right now, and they're kind of wondering where he's at. Well, in the books, when he gets freed in Raymond, basically Perrin and him go their separate ways. They're not friends right away. It's not something that happens. It's not until after the assault on the Stone and Tear that him and Perrin sort of get back together much later on in the books, because he goes with him to the 2 rivers. And that's really where the kind of the bromance and the storylines with Perrin and Gaul start. So he's off screen and off page for quite some time. So it would make sense to me that they may introduce him in Season 3 before Perrin goes to the 2 rivers, rather than now in Season 2 and then not again for maybe half a season or more. Aviendha, on the other hand, she's introduced in a much different way in the book series, and it looks like in a storyline that we may or may not be getting. We're not really sure, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to try to add that particular storyline in right now. So what I think they've done instead is they've introduced her now so she can be at Falm, meet Rand, and they can sort of start that relationship that they have prior to going to the Waste, because we're pretty sure we're going to the Waste in Season 3, and maybe even a little preview of it here in Season 2, because we know we're getting a ton of Aiel in the last couple episodes, so there's that. Plus, we have some castings that could possibly be Aiel as well, especially the wise ones that we'll talk about likely either later this evening or tomorrow. So introducing her now and then having her show up at Fulham later to interact with Rand, interact with everyone else at Fulham, I think makes a little bit more sense. It doesn't mean we're not getting Gaul. I think we'll probably get Gaul in season 3. I don't think they'll cut him. I think he'll probably show up. So there's that. Either way, a really neat scene, and I can't wait to see Aviendha on screen. I think Aola Smart is going to be an absolute gem when it comes to playing Aviendha. Everything I've seen so far, including some of the stuff behind the scenes and leaks and things like that, just kind of proved to me that she is almost a perfect casting choice for Aviendha in every way, shape, and form, and I think she's going to absolutely knock it out of the park. So I'm pretty excited to see that. So let me know in the comments down below what you folks think. What are we going to see the next episode, as at least so far as Perrin and Aviendha's storylines? Do you think that they're going to go their separate ways and they'll travel to Fulham separately, or do you think they'll travel together? And will we see Bane and Chiad next episode? I really don't know. That I think that's going to be saved for maybe 7 or 8, either or. Now, the next scene in this particular teaser had a few changes from the source material as well, but it leads into something that's almost exactly the same, which is pretty interesting. So it shows Liandrin in the ways with Nynaeve, Elayne, and Egwene, but they're all unconscious. Now, in the book series, they are going to Fulham to save their friends. That's why they're going. Liandrin leads them there through the ways, but they go willingly. They kind of travel with her. It's not until after they exit the waygate at the other end that they realize Liandrin has betrayed them. But we got that already in episode 4. So they were betrayed first, and she's kind of like carting them through the ways. It looks like they're unconscious most of the time. So that's a bit of a change. However, that leads directly into this next scene that was released today, which is... It gave me chills when I watched it because a lot of it was word for word from the books, and it is absolutely amazing, and it made me feel things for Liandrin I didn't think I would. I mean, I absolutely loathed her when I read it in the book series, and they've done an incredibly good job at making her not just likable, but understandable so far in the series. And watching her talk with High Lady Suroth, just it was awe-inspiring to see. Anyway, so here's this scene that was released today, and then we'll talk about it a bit after we watch it.
We expected you hours ago.
The ways are unpredictable. I had expected our master to meet me himself.
Our master has more important things to do than play fetch with his dog.
What you do to these women is an abomination. Perhaps the Shan-Chan should learn proper respect for the One Power.
On the contrary, we respect the One Power so much we don't believe that anyone should wield it by accident of birth. Our Suldam train for years to prove themselves worthy. They earn their right, unlike the Aes Sedai. Our master's needs will change with time, you know.
And all Marath Damane will be leashed, eventually. Perhaps I will be the one to place the collar around your lovely throat.
Our master's needs will change. I'll remind you of it on the day you kneel to me.
All right, so that particular scene, like I said, chills. I really enjoyed seeing that, and I can't wait to see what's in store for the girls in the next couple episodes. But the book series, again, small changes, but there's a lot of similarities, and a lot of the dialogue is ripped straight from the books, and it was really a treat to see on screen. So, in the books, like I said earlier, the 3 girls, Egwene, Elayne, and Nynaeve, they come under their own free will. They're with Liandrin, they're going with her to Falma to save their friends. When Egwene steps out of the waygate, a collar is snapped around her neck almost immediately. She notices all the Shan-Chan, she gets a collar snapped around her neck, and then she fights back right away. She starts wailing with her fists, and something nobody really expects. Nynaeve and Elayne eventually escape, so they get out of there. They're not captured or collared, and that's when they sort of plot the rescue from afar. What we're seeing here is something a little bit different. They're still unconscious in this particular scene. So Liandrin is presenting them to High Lady Suroth. There is talk of the master they serve. Now in the book series, Egwene hears all of that and questions who that is, and is told that the affairs of the blood aren't for her ears, so to speak. She didn't get to hear that in the show. So I wonder if she'll try to put 2 and 2 together later on, or if they'll just kind of do it off screen. But we've already seen in other promotional material that they're fighting back. So Egwene, Elayne, and Nynaeve are sort of fighting with the One Power at this point, and they fight back against the Shan-Chan in that same jungle-esque type scene around the Waygate. So we don't know exactly what happens there, but it has to happen probably after this point because they're still unconscious. So either way, really, really neat scene. Is getting me kind of hyped up for episode 5. This is likely how we're going to end the episode, with Egwene being collared. Really hard scene to watch, I'm going to guess, because so far pretty much everything the Shan-Chan have shown on screen has been efficient and very brutal, and that's just like the book series. So I'm sure they're going to do the same things on screen for the rest of the season. Either way, let me know what you folks think we're going to see in episode 5. So far, we know we're getting Perrin and Aviendha fighting some White Cloaks. Probably the same thing, Hunters for the Horn and Remen. We know for sure that we're getting Liandrin taking the girls for the ways, giving them to the Shan-Chan. We're not sure what's happening with Rand and Moiraine. We do know that they're in Cairhien at this point, and we have some shots from promotional materials showcasing Rand in what appears to be an inn, sort of melancholy after, so to speak, his lover, Selene, is killed and brought back to life by the Dark One. So that whole storyline there, we don't have a whole lot of information on, but we're likely going to see them leaving from Cairhien either this episode or in episode 6 to head to Falm as well. They're probably going to figure out why they have to go there, and they're probably going to meet Matt as well, because remember, Min is also taking Matt to Cairhien at the same time, so I think he's going to meet with Rand, and they're all going to go to Falm together. Either way, I think it's going to be an absolute banger of an episode, and I can't wait to see it. So let me know in the comments down below what you folks think is going to happen in episode 5, and where the story is leading us for the rest of the season. All right, thank you so much for sticking with us here to the very end. Here's to many more.